Tono barigato, misto robato, tomo.
You gotta make that a hard O somehow.
Whatever, I'm not gonna go argue about English. I passed it in school. I have yet to be pulled over by a police officer and asked to diagram a sentence, thank goodness, because I'd get locked up. I made good grades in school. I just didn't understand. But, I think I did pretty well because there's lots of times I'm reading what gets wrote on the internet nowadays, and it's like, what is that person trying to tell me? Please put some punctuation in that because I just got out of breath reading it.
Yeah.
I don't know where any of the sentences ended. I don't know where their thoughts came to a stop, or maybe it didn't.
Maybe it didn't.
And I don't know what a lot of those words were because they're spelled pretty poorly.
I've gotten better over the years at trying to decipher those words that are spelled who knows how. Well, it's probably this.
That, and then I have to go out and Google some of the terms and the abbreviations nowadays because I don't know all of them.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're here again. We're with Reblogatog 33. We're gonna do what we always do. Bring you the very best of Blogatog.
Very, very best.
From Mayro's Tumblr account. So, we're going to start off this week with... If you had to either add or remove a color, do you think the game would play better with 4 colors or 6? Mayro thinks it'd play better with 6 than 4, but both are significantly worse than 5. Yeah. He's done... I've read some articles in the past where he talks about how the odd number is what makes things work out.
The odd number is important.
And you can see where they have trouble. Maybe the reason they have trouble when they do 4 factions is because they're doing it with 5 colors. But 4 factions have been a little bit of an issue at times. Can you tell us what all artifacts are hidden in the picture of Ingenuity Engine? I found Sensei's Top, Behemoth Sledge, Sword of Light and Shadow, Sword of Body and Mind, Commander Sphere, Darksteel Ingot, Rings of Brighthearth, and the classic Soul Ring. Mayro says he cannot. Any help? So I went to the comments on this, which I don't always do, and I didn't look to back these up. It's a pretty small picture. We need like a bigger high-res image. But some of them said Videlka Nereri, Door to Nothingness, Hammer of Nazan, Rings of Brighthearth already said. So that's quite a few. How many did you count?
I just
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's 11.
Yeah. I can't find it now, but somebody had posted up a diagram online. Oh, there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They've got way more than 5. Mirari's in there. They've got a lot of stuff.
Somebody did some time.
Somebody did some time.
I'd want a big high-res image if I was going to try to do that. Yeah. But anyway, it's a pretty cool thing nonetheless. So,
I believe Masterwork of Ingenuity is in there as well.
You want to take that next one there, sir?
Do you think there's ever a chance that Monarch could become deciduous? I know it should probably be featured in a standard set first, but I can't think of a mechanic I'd want to see in most limited environments quite like Monarchy. And Mayro says it works much better in multiplayer play. Which,
I mean, it causes action to happen. In 2-player, you pretty much have action happening.
Right.
If you don't have action happening, the game ends and you go play again.
Right.
And try to get action happening. But in a multiplayer, sometimes they can stall out, and Monarchy works really well for that.
Helps keep pushing things. Where are cards 717 through 720 in Commander Legends?
That's called 717 through 720. Correct. That's what the rest of us call those.
They don't seem to exist anywhere. They were cards that got pulled at the last minute. I believe they were extended art versions of Commander deck cards. That's really weird.
And a follow-up.
What would cause cards to be pulled so late that the card numbers couldn't be changed? Good question. We chose not to make some Commander deck exclusive cards into extended art for collector boosters, as we decided late that the audience for collector's boosters would be unhappy to get them.
So it got me wondering, and I actually did the work today. Over here he says they were extended art versions of Commander deck cards. So I assume the exclusive cards from them,
Right.
not the reprints.
Right.
And there's only 6 of those. So the 6 of them are, where I start at? Blazing Sunsteel, Timely Ward, Wyleth Soul of Steel, AC Tyrant of Gyre Strait, Stump Squall Hydra, and Trench Behemoth. It seems like if you took the 2 commanders there, they would have been fairly exciting.
Right.
I thought that Timely Ward was more exciting than Wyleth Soul of Steel. But AC Tyrant of Gyre Strait seemed pretty exciting to me.
Yeah.
I don't have them pulled up in front of me, but I just thought it was interesting to go take a look and see why they thought those wouldn't be exciting. I think there's some decent cards there that could have been very cool.
I agree.
But maybe they know better than me. I do not know.
They make the decisions.
They make the decisions. I'm going to get twisted up here. Have you ever considered making the basic super type be what determines if a deck can have any number of copies? For example, turning persistent petitioners into a basic creature. Clears up card space and would already fit in line with what the basic super type already does with basic lands and basic snow lands. Mayro says for technical rules reasons, basic can't have that functionality. I've heard him explain this before.
I had not.
Also, it's important to note that deck limitations is a tournament issue, not a games rule issue. The rules can say any number can be played on specific cards.
Gotcha.
I didn't get twisted around again.
No, you're good. You're good.
Mark, if or when a card that says cards and effects your opponents control cannot cause permanents to return from the battlefield to your hand. I hate Cyclonic Rift. Also, he says, I hate Cyclonic Rift. Or maybe I also said that. I don't know.
We all hate Cyclonic Rift.
If it's a game winner, it's okay. If it just means we got to start, I don't know. It's there's lots of board wipes.
You can bounce the whole board and win right then I'm probably okay with it.
He says it's a big if. It's a very hard rule to write that works properly but doesn't cause other problems.
Yeah.
And if you remember, a few weeks ago we went over some stuff where somebody was trying to word a different ability and they just couldn't get it done.
Templating is much harder than
It's much harder than you think. And then someone is very studious and went out and did the work for us.
Oh, thank God.
FYI to the people asking for non-blue answers to Cyclonic Rift, Teferi's Protection will let you dodge it, and Ashaeus, Soul of the Wild, turns your guys into lands that Cyclonic Rift won't see. Hope it helps. And Mayro just says, FYI, there's a couple of ways that you can do it. Keep your stuff from being Cyclonic Rift, turn your guys into forest so they can't be bounced.
That's pretty cool.
And Teferi's Protection will stop it.
Teferi's Protection it stops everything.
Stop it right there.
So, is this something that... So this is something that's somewhat nonsensical. But it's been bugging me for a while. Why are there 2 different designs for pre-release kits? By which I mean, why are there 2 different shapes that are varied set by set? Wouldn't it be easier to just have the one design standardized? It just makes my brain itch a bit. I need more detail. What's the difference? Okay, Mero, they either come in these tall,
skinny packs,
or like these longer,
fatter packs.
Yeah.
And then once in a while, they do something unique with them.
Yeah.
So I think that's the reason.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, so if you can remember last week when we talked about they're going to abandon Beleriand font for some of the boxes because people are tired of the same font, here we have a person who's tired of it being different and wants it all to be the same. You cannot make the world happy.
You cannot.
The world will be the path to your door to tell you that they want it different from the guy who just told you that he wanted it different from the guy who just told you that he wanted it different from
Yeah.
All right. Why are there so many brand new characters in Commander Legends? What is the difference between a character that no one has heard of versus one that a tiny fraction of long-time, very enfranchised players have? Where is Maveen O'Donnell? Now, maybe you're Vorthosy enough to know who Maveen O'Donnell was. I did not. So, this character only appears in flavor text on cards in the dark, but like 7 or 8 of them. So go look them up.
Yeah.
But anyway, his answer is, there are many reasons for new characters. Number 1, some players, even some Vorthoses, who know all the old references, want new characters. Just as you are excited to see characters you know get a card, other players are excited by seeing characters that they don't know. The key to Magic design is creating lots of different things for an audience that has varied interests. Number 2, existing characters usually require top-down designs because we're matching the character.
Yeah.
There are a lot of cool bottom-up designs that require a new character to make sense. Number 3, our old characters don't necessarily always represent the diversity we want to see out of our characters. And number 4, new characters let us plant seeds for the future. And finally, number 5, we have a lot of cards to make, so we need to spread out the established characters. It's a resource to treat with care. So I know the diversity issue has been a big thing.
Yeah.
They've been doing really well with getting LGBTQ members in, getting a lot more females in there.
A lot more
people of color.
a lot more ethnicities.
All of those kinds of things. So they're looking towards that stuff. Yeah. And it does make a difference, guys. It really does. You can just look at, and I'm not going to get political on us here, but just look at the reception that our new vice president has gotten.
Right.
And you can see that it makes a difference.
Yeah. Original old Magic, going back to like the Dark, was in a time in fantasy where it was still very full of white dudes. So
if you're
almost
a white
all
dude,
artwork.
If you're a white dude and go, but I've always been represented. Yes, you have.
Yeah.
That's called privilege. Don't tell me it's not. I'm not going to listen to you.
So, all right. Would silver bordered rules allow for a card that switches the direction of play? Like in multiplayer, instead of passing to the person to your left, you would pass to the right for the duration of this effect. The card Topsy Turvy has that effect, along with reversing the turn order. Aeon Engine already does this.
Yeah, it reverses a turn order.
Yeah.
So, and that's in Black Border. So, Mayro does not do Commander. Right. He's pretty knowledgeable, but he's a little weaker on the Commander cards, and so he probably didn't Google it up, or check Gatherer. Right. But there is
Aeon Engine. It came out a couple of years ago in Commander stuff.
Yeah, I don't remember which set is in, but
C17 or C18.
I thought there was at least one, and I quit because it was right at the top of the page.
Yeah. When
I looked for the effect, and I didn't dig, but yeah.
I've used it before. Actually, it's kind of cool. You pass to this guy, and you let him take his turn, and then you crack it during his turn, so it comes back, and you get another turn.
Why did Thieving Skydiver need the X can't be 0 clause? It's a pity. Without that clause, it probably would have been vintage playable.
Yeah, that's
maybe
the point.
Making a Merfolk deck a thing in that format. I know it can still steal a Mox, but 3 mana is a lot. We don't write those words on a card unless we feel they need to be there. Odds are it came about after some playtesting.
Yeah.
As a refresher, it says it has a kicker of X, and X can't be 0. You may pay an additional X as you cast a spell. That's kicker. When Thieving Skydive enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, gain control of target artifact with converted mana cost X or less. If that artifact is an equipment, attach it to Thieving Skydiver. That's pretty good because the equipment attaches automatically. So, okay, you're having to pay 1 to take a Mox. If it doesn't make it, it doesn't make it. I'm not vintage to know, but If it doesn't make it, it doesn't make it. But I see why.
Yeah.
I see why.
Stealing boxes for... Yeah, you got to make them pay something. I get that. Hey, Mero. I'm a huge demon lover. Really? I mean, you just... Anyway. And I wanted to know when we could get a demon tribal commander besides Rakdos, as he is a good start, but not quite there. Also, would you include the demons, devils, and imp batching moving forward with a theoretical legendary demon?
He's very specific.
A demon lord with a horde of lower denizens of the abyss would be sublime.
Sublime! It would be sublime.
I'll keep the suggestion in mind. And Mero's now also a little worried about the guy. When or if an aura or equipment that grants protection from everything. A big if. It's not a fun mechanic.
It's not.
They discovered that.
Yeah, Progenitus is rough. Progenitus is rough.
True name Nemesis, even. I mean, it's not protection from, but it's protection from a player, right?
Yeah,
it's close.
Was it Spectral Ward?
Yeah, I think that's right.
There are a few others, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, it can be very, very difficult.
From everything?
In your opinion, what's the biggest hurdle for new Magic players? Magic is very daunting. Sorry, it often intimidates new players. They don't think they'll be able to learn it, and that's true.
Yeah,
that's it. As I always say, the greatest strength of Magic is its greatest weakness. The strength is that it is deep, and the chances that you will get tired of Magic are I mean, if you like the game, once you learn it, okay, you got to get past that. The chances that you'll get tired of it or not continue to find exciting things to do with it are very slim.
Yeah.
But it is deep.
It is deep.
I don't know, as a brand new player, and I have no way to get this perspective, if I could cross the divide. I've been playing for 25 years, right. 26 years. I don't know if I could cross the divide, but yeah, it's a very deep pool of cards and abilities, and that's what makes it awesome.
Yeah, the variance makes it awesome. That's the thing people want to get rid of, and that's what makes Magic successful for this long. The fact that you can get mana screwed no matter how good your hand is actually the reason Magic has survived this long, in my opinion. Yeah,
they've done other games where you get a mana rock every turn or something. They've done them online. Hearthstone does it, I think, even though I don't play that.
Yeah.
They did it with...
well, even like Duel Masters, you could discard anything to use as mana or something.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work. You have to have...
Redakai did that. You got one each turn, and it built up.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And
you have to have
none of them are here.
You have to have that variance where you can just get screwed or you can just have the nuts. You know, that's what makes the game the way it is. Would you say, Mero, that caring about the CMC of exiled creatures is a white ability? White is the king of caring about small CMCs.
It can bring back the little things.
Ones and twos.
So it cares about that.
Yeah.
It taxes things and stuff. So, small numbers.
Small.
It's king of small creatures, too.
Yeah.
So,
well, green gets the big creatures.
Right, because white's about, just the population at large, humanity and everything. So, yeah, it makes sense.
If or when a set made up entirely of MDFCs.
That's modal double face. We taught you that a few weeks ago.
Big if. It would be a logistical... He uses the word headache, but I'm just going to say nightmare.
That's the word I was thinking of. When I was reading this, it would be a logistical nightmare. Why does he say headache?
Yeah, nightmare. Oh.
Why would we even want to attempt that particular nightmare?
All right, guys, so we need a new set, 300 cards roughly, but they're all in DFC, so we need 600 new cards.
600 new cards. Oh, you can put lands on one side. Whoa. Whoa.
Can't do that for all of them.
Let's make basic lands no longer needed.
Yeah.
After 3 sets with modal DFCs, we may be there. We'll see.
I don't think they're all going to be lands.
No, they're not all going to be, but we're going to get more.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right. Are there any planes, or could we get a plane, where the majority of white are the bad guys, and the majority of black are the good guys. I think we've seen bits of the former. Kaladesh comes to mind, but not as much of the latter that I can think of. Meiro says the protagonist of the Champions of Kamigawa was a black character and the antagonist was a white one.
Yep.
Now, this is a time period when I actually wasn't playing when Kamigawa came out. I had taken the only break in my whole history was basically from somewhere during the Onslaught block, Odyssey Onslaught, until I was in that area. I kind of started back up.
You know, I always forget that I was playing Magic at a time when you weren't at that point, because I quit in the middle of Kamigawa block. Because I still have a whole bunch of Kamigawa stuff when I came back to Magic. I had a whole bunch of Kamigawa. I played up till the middle of Kamigawa.
You know, it may have been Mirrodin when I started back. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah.
But anyway, I didn't read the story back then. Not familiar with the story. So I looked it up. I was curious.
Yeah.
So the Kamigawa block, and this is taken from a wiki, takes place during the Kami War between the Utsushio and the Kakurio.
Yeah.
I probably butchered those, and it's on me. The war began when Konda, Lord of Iganjo, stole the scion of Okagagachi. In retaliation, the Kami attacked the inhabitants of the plain in an effort to reclaim that which was taken. So I know that Konda, because I've played the card, is white.
Yep.
Stole that which was taken, which is a card.
Yeah.
Okay? Since spirits could be defeated in battle but still return for future conflicts, it was already a losing battle for the mortals once the war began. The war ended when Michiko Konda, with the aid of Toshiro Umezawa, which is a black card, a black creature, and others, managed to free the scion, which took the name Kyode, and defeated both Okagachi and Konda. Yep. There you have it. We have had a backwards story before.
Right. Well,
where you had white, which is normally
portrayed as the good and just and
and because it's usually about the masses.
Right.
Whereas black is usually more selfish.
Yeah. I wasn't playing through original Theros, but isn't like Heliod kind of the bad guy on Theros as well? With everything that goes on with the gods, and isn't Heliod like who kills Elspeth, or isn't there some bad, horrible something there?
Well, the bad guy is Xenagos.
Well, okay, yeah.
Heliod and Elspeth have some issues, yes. But, but Heliod wasn't just the big bad.
Okay.
Xenagos was the big bad.
I thought I'd heard before that
we have seen
Heliod was kind of a bad guy, and the Church or the White on Theros is kind of a little, But I wasn't
again,
sure.
not a story that I read a whole lot of. It was after Theros when, other than I read a lot of the Innistrad story, I got interested there.
Just so flavorful, I assume that it couldn't help but.
It was. I'm not big on the horror trope, but I just,
I
got into it.
How come Angels haven't got a dedicated tribal commander, whereas less popular tribes such as Sphinx and Hydra have? I was about to answer this. I'm glad Mero said exactly what I was thinking. Lyra Dawnbringer is legendary, and tribally helps Angels a lot.
Learn to use your Gatherer or your Scryfall or something a little bit better.
She buffs them all and gives them lifelink or something, right?
Yeah.
It's It's not like kind of, right? It's definitely. You want me to take this last one?
Yeah, take the last one. Take us home, big man.
I think I know the answer to this one, too. Is energy unique to Kaladesh? If when we see it again, regardless of product, premier or supplemental, since I play Commander, it was designed so it could be used elsewhere. But it's a tricky mechanic to balance. So I'd say it's more when than if, but close to if. Right, so we've had questions on this before, and he said that they would use energy somewhere other than Kaladesh, but things have to be right.
Yeah, I think we're definitely going to get it when we go back to Kaladesh. We'll have
Yeah,
energy.
I think they're going to try to fix energy.
And I think it's really hard to throw a one-off energy card into like Commander deck or something. You know, it's really hard to just throw one out there.
Well, like they said,
once we have a few sets, maybe you can. But it's not like they've really tossed us Infect either, right?
No. Well, and energy was parasitic, as they said. You know, so it's not really, unless you get a critical mass of those cards. It's
I mean, they can reprint a bunch of it in a Commander deck, but they'd really have to make several to give it some kind of new flavor.
Yeah, and I totally expect us to go back to Kaladesh in another couple of years, and we'll see it there. I mean,
I would expect us to go back. I think that
it was widely successful, even though it kind of broke Magic at the time. Energy did, but
much like when they've gone back to some other worlds, they'll just have to watch how they do energy.
Right. I mean,
hopefully it doesn't get totally nerfed to where it doesn't do anything.
Right. I mean, they went back to Mirrodin. Mirrodin broke Magic right in two, y'all.
Right. We didn't get Affinity again.
Right.
We got Metalcraft, but we didn't get Affinity again after they had to ban 8 cards. It's like no.
And 5 of them were lands.
Yeah. Yeah. Lands.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, that's all for this week. It was a little light, I know, but we appreciate you guys tuning in, and we hope to see you back next week for some more discussions.
We'll see you then, guys.
Au revoir. You're going to leave all that in, aren't you?
Oh, yeah.